Racing.com app. Now with national form. Racing form for every state, every day. Download wherever you get your apps.
1200-metre benchmark 58 to bring us home. Let's kick off the mounting yard with Bonds to Riches, the toppy for Alex Ray.
Yeah, improved performance, getting away from a wet track last start on the Pakenham synthetic over 1,200 metres. Went forward, had its chance, was no match for Brutalina. That race, though, did produce the winner of the previous in Vancouver.
To Charlotte, your best bet on the program. It's been a long wait for your loyal army of followers. They have got a result in the last race, but this is the best bet on the program, Dave.
Yeah, it has to transfer the Ballarat synthetic form to the Pakenham synthetic, but I am encouraged by the fact that it has played, not played to the inside today and to on-pace runners, but you can win on the inside. Yeah. Exactly right. So he's been running fast times. He's been back in really good order this preparation. He hit the line strong in good time last start as well. Matt Laurie has a really good record when bringing horses to this particular surface. This is his only horse that he brings today. Emily Posman is in form, claims down 2 kilos. Clearly the one to beat.
What about Mafee, horse number 3 for the Vidotto and Beasy team? We heard from Clay a little bit earlier, giving his thoughts about this galloper. What are your thoughts?
Won a maiden last start. We haven't seen a great deal of form in. And then we saw in the previous event the drifting favourite that came through that in Galactic Force was held up and you know, make a case could have gone past Mafee. Was only fair staying in maiden grade as well, second up. So I think there's horses coming through with stronger form references. Express
yourself for the Yargies. What are we expecting from this galloper having her fourth run for the preparation today?
She was very poor for off a freshen up at Flemington last start, but that was a series of to qualify for the Cressick final, and she was beaten by She's an Artist, and of course the horse that subsequently beat She's an Artist, Bridal Waltz, came through the same race. They're not here, are they? But she was 12 lengths down the track, and her only win was when leading and on leaders track on a good 3 at Kilmore, which has to be some concern about whether or not she'll measure up today.
What about Omaha Dawn? There's an expectation from the stable that this horse can bounce back because she's been a little bit disappointing at this prep and last prep.
Yeah, very poor. First up, too keen behind In Love, but did go back to the jump outs between runs and jump out quite well behind Marshall Music, who's a good jump out horse.
6 is Short Reply, who is in the care of the Ben Will and JD Hayes stable after having a go with Julian Welsh, this mare.
Yeah, needs a big new peak. I think 1,200 metres will be a bit sharp for her. Did lead and win a jump out by a long way, bouncing out fast between runs, but I think it was visually the margin was a bit more impressive than what the work actually was.
What about Zoomed for Robbie Griffiths and Jai McNeil from a wide draw?
A little bit out of form in her last couple. She'll take a bit of benefit from the run last start on the Pakenham synthetic, given it was off space runs, but she needs to find a couple of lengths off what she's been doing recently.
Farisha ran okay on the Ballarat synthetic first up over 1,200 metres.
Yeah, I thought she did enough. She showed a little bit early in her career, then lost her way, but then was able to resume and 10 into 850, run quite well, leading on that Ballarat synthetic. Never a disadvantage, but it was the first run for a new stable. Reece being able to work her out now. She'll get a nice run in transit from barrier 4.
9's out. 10 is Deep Joy for Kieran Maher and Craig Newitt. Kieran Maher brought up his 300th winner for the season with King Tut in race number 1 this afternoon as well. So that is a marvellous achievement again for the stable, continuing a very, very consistent form of seasons of late.
Yeah, I think they'll probably have to wait after this girl, though, for 301. Congratulations, though. 300 is a huge effort in one season, but she was pretty plain last start on the Ballarat synthetic. They put the blinkers on first time today.
Donation. Well, what are we thinking here? Salts, if we back this horse, are we making a donation?
A quick backup, but I think we are. Was beaten by Demojo, who's a nice horse and was dropping in grade last start on the Ballarat synthetic, and he was back in trip that day from 1,200 metres and ran like he wanted further. He'll be slow away again, though.
Laminar for Mick Hoogland, Joe Bowditch in the saddle, been just a little bit plain at this galloper's last two starts?
Yeah, no, his best wouldn't measure up, and in his last couple he's been well below his best.
What about little Magnus resuming, previously trained by David Noonan? Can she improve with a new camp?
Very hard to make a case for her. The jump outs have been just fair. The blinkers come off for the first up run today, but going to go around at a huge price.
Yeah.
She's been beaten a long way in 4 starts.
$301. You don't see too many gallopers going around at that sort of quote, do you, Salts? On the other end of the spectrum is Charlotte, and this is one you're pretty keen on the chances of.
Yep, we've saved the best till last today. He's running really slick times so far this preparation. He's back in great order. The stable have a good record here. The inside and on pace has been no disadvantage. He gets a handy 2 kilo claim from Emily Posman. If they all run up to recent form, he will win the race. Bonds to Riches improved onto this surface last start. Farisha ran well enough for the new stable first up last start to say that it can improve second up. And Express Yourself is a big class dropper.
Let's have a final check of the Victorian official price for this Monday afternoon. Hope you found a winner wherever you might be tuning in from around this great country. $2.10 for Charlotte. Did touch 2.05, then got to 2.15, snapped back into 2.10. So not a whole lot of movement. Punt is pretty confident that this horse will be the one to beat. $6.50 for Express Yourself. Let's go see if we can get a push for the final favourite and Sultan's best selection on the program. Stable rep for Matt Laurie's catching up with Gemma Riley.
Yeah, we got Alex here on board to give us a little bit more information about Charlou. Well, his first 2 runs at the Ballarat Synthetic were pretty good, so I'm assuming you're hoping for a really nice run today.
Yeah, well, to be honest, we couldn't be happier in the way he's presented for the race. He pulled up very good for the last run, and he kept the condition to this one. You have to remember that it's a 3rd race that he had on the stable, so it's pretty consistent. And we have a good barrier. He likes the synthetic, and we have an extra help with the jockey. So it seems like everything is set to have a good presentation.
Okay, and so Emily Posman is the jockey. You've got barrier 2. Where do you think you'll see her settle him in running?
Well, if we keep the same strategy as the last two races, he should jump, give him a bit of help, and then let him roll.
Okay, well, you've come here with him today, of course, in the transport, and you've strapped him there in the yard. Was he giving you a feel that he's nice, well, bright, fit, ready?
Yeah. Well, he's a very professional horse. He's very lovely, and I think all the team has been done all the details to enjoy the race. So I'm pretty confident of it.
Okay, thank you very much for all of your insight. Best of luck.
Thank you.
All right, not too long off the scheduled advertised start time for race number 9, a tick under 3 minutes. Salts, it's been a good day of racing just to this point thus far. Any particular gallopers that you might be willing to continue to follow throughout their respective campaigns? The first winner was probably the highlight for me, King Tut.
Yeah, that was the highlight. That was slick time, 1:10.45, not too far outside the track record. He sat off them, and the horse that he beat, or Tiggy and Girl, wasn't exactly coming through weak maiden.
No.
She was coming through a good form reference maiden. Celestial Option came through a maiden that produced form as well, and he put a margin of them, sat back and extended really nicely. The first 2 races of the day are ones where I've identified ones, progressive horses that we can follow, because the winner, Moonlight Circus, was excellent first up for Mick Kent. No trial or jump out, really extended nicely late, got a big stride on her. And Lady Elsa was the runner-up. They absolutely gapped 3rd. So there'll be a win coming for Lady Elsa sooner rather than later, I would have thought.
And Mick Kent's horse going to town for a 3-year-old fillies race before the end of the season. So if you keep her in your black book, he said that on the in the post-race interview. So she might be one to follow at her next start before she turns 4. Charlotte here, we can see this galloper running second here on the synthetic at Ballarat. This is what you get, really.
Big gap to 3rd and 4th. The winner, Neon's last sat back. It was a fast tempo, and Charlotte sat close to that fast tempo. Neon's last sat back and did a little bit less work in the early stages of the race. So he was probably entitled to
You swap the runs, do you swap the result?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
So he'll go forward again. He did beat Spirited Defence first up as well, and we saw that horse absolutely bolt in the other day on the Ballarat.
And Spirited Defence was $1.20 shot on that day too, I reckon, Salts, when he did get rolled.
Yeah, he was. And he goes around favourite again tomorrow, Spirited Defence. He's racing well on that surface too. The form around him, not too bad. And he's just been running fast times as well. He might have to absorb some early pressure today. Farisha, Short Reply, Little Magnus, Mafee, Bonds to Riches, they've all got early speed. So she can jump from barrier 1, Emily Posman. I'd love to see him bounce well and just control things and just say, look, I'm the best horse. But if a few horses want to carve each other up, she can elect to take a trail in behind them.
Adam Olszanski's done a great job all afternoon calling each and every one of these 9 races perfectly. Here he is for race number 9.
Stayed on valiantly behind Magic Edition, who has since run well in defeat at the same venue. Zoomed, had an inside line last time and perhaps a bit close in the run for its liking. It can easily bounce back with a quieter run. Some of its performances here on the turf when coming through late from back in the field were excellent at the end of the turf season. And Laminar will come up in a moment. So Charlotte, favourite, Emily Posman. Even money. For the final time, 1,200 metres. They're set, all in, and they're off. Charlotte jumped okay. Midfield away. Laminar goes back. Omaha Dawn and Mafee were both quickly into stride. And there's also speed from Express Yourself, who's looking for the lead. And Bonds to Riches works across with it. So Express Yourself from Omaha Dawn travelling back on the inside. And then comes Little Magnus and Bonds to Riches fourth and wide from Mafee and Charlotte on the fence. And then Deep Joy midfield 3 deep outside of Short Reply in the centre for Risha Donation. Zoom second last and Laminar is the trailer. Heading down the side, Express Yourself's got 4 or 5 lengths clear of Omaha Dawn. And then comes Bonds to Riches towards the centre from Mafee. Little Magnus, now Charlotte's looking to get clear, was pocketed there. Tries to get towards the middle. And then comes towards the outside. Deep Joy trying to wind home and Farisha from a long way back. Quickly, Bonds to Riches pounced. Bonds to Riches, 200 to go. 2 lengths, Omaha Dawn, Mafee. Charlotte slowly winding home. Donation coming through. Bonds to Riches, 100 out. Mafee's coming hard at the end along with Charlotte. Mafee reached them and won again. Mafee got there from Bonds to Riches and Charlotte in a photo for second, and then Farisha. In behind those runners was Donation, Omaha Dawn, and then came Short Reply and Laminar. Zoomed, and then Deep Joy, Little Magnus, and Express Yourself went quickly and stopped even quicker. Mafee goes back to back. So the 3, Mafee, has landed the win. Had to get chasing a fair way out off that strong speed. And Bonds to Riches, after a good run here last week, pounced on them. Just couldn't sustain that run after covering a little bit of ground early. And Mafee, Charlotte got clear of its pocket. It's run very well and looks like it's got second just ahead of Bonds to Riches. But it's all about Mafee for Carlo Vidotto and Clay Beasy. And this gelding by Keed Mafee has taken 10 starts to win its maiden, but has made up for lost time going back to back after a strong performance the other day here at 1,100 metres. Matthew Cartwright in the saddle again. So 3, 2, 1 and 8 are the numbers. 3, 2, 1 and 8 in a time of 1 minute 9.74. Has run well again from back in the field. Omaha Dawn stayed on after being the horse absorbing most of that pressure. Second in, I guess, leading the pack up to Express Yourself, the runaway leader. And Donation fleetingly looked some place chance the way it was moving through the pack. It's officially run in 6. Half neck short hair time, 1 minute 9.74, but 3, 2 and 1. It was good to hear from Clay Beasy earlier in that extended interview with Gemma, and just hearing about a few of the horses in his yard and trying to build up some numbers over the upcoming months. And no doubt he'd be absolutely rapt to get this horse to the winner's enclosure for back-to-back wins. And we might head trackside back to Gemma to see if Clay's there now.
Yeah, we got Clay. He's very happy and he's just had a celebratory beer. Good on him. His horse has won 2 in a row. Well done.
Thank you, Gemma.
All right, well, we spoke earlier in the day about your 2 runners. Obviously, things didn't go according to plan in race 1. You've been here all day, right through to race 9, but this has certainly made up for it.
Yeah, definitely. And string 2 together with this horse. Look, come here with confidence today, but as I said, after his last win, his form had been a little bit inconsistent, mixing it around. We've just changed the way we've been working him. And look, it seems to be working at the moment.
When you say change the way you've been working him, have you gone down the lines of harder, softer, or just different methods altogether?
Different methods altogether, really. He's a great track worker, this horse. What he can do on the track, he doesn't bring race day. So we just really sort of backed off him on the galloping side of things, and we've just been working him in deep sand. The last 2 weeks, he's had 3 hit-outs in the deep sand, and that's been it. We've just kept him pretty fresh, but had sort of the work into him as well.
Where is that heavy sand? Is that your property, or did you head to the bush?
No, we head to Mornington. We've got a great deep sand uphill track. It's been great. We haven't had it for very long, but once you get to sort of work it out, it's been really beneficial the way we train them.
This is at the Mornington track?
Yeah.
Similar? Is it sort of similar to obviously the Cranbourne Bush one is quite large. It's not that area that you've got at Mornington, but is it that sort of similar setup, heavy sand with a bit of an incline?
Yeah, it is. Anyone that's been to Mornington, up along Mornington Tide Road there, it's quite a bit of a climb. So yeah, it's been really beneficial to any trainers at Mornington, and it's worked really well for this horse.
And how does the program map for this horse going forward? If you were to put him in another 58, would he need to claim? And is he the sort of horse an apprentice could get along with?
Definitely. I'd like Matty to be hanging around a little bit longer for him. Matty's off at the end of this month, so. But no, definitely. I think maybe now we've got to rise to a 64, but we'll just have a look how he pulls up, because he was sort of lightened off a bit into this run. So we'll just see how he is over the next 3-4 days.
Okay, well, congratulations on the win.
Thanks, Gemma.
All right, we bring in winning rider Maddie Cartwright. Maddie, well done. You've strung 2 together on this boy, and Clay wished that you were sticking on, but you're heading off at the end of the month. Where are you going?
I'm heading back to New Zealand. It's where I've based myself for the last 12 months, and I've had very good success over there, so it'd be silly not to go back for another season. So, unfortunately, I am going back, but it's where I'm making good success.
Okay, great stuff. Well, let's talk about this race. It was good tempo on, and you seem to just have a really nice trail.
Yeah, credit goes to the horse. He's really come on from his maiden win, and feel like good confidence out of it. He jumped clean, he travelled lovely, and a genuine tempo actually suited him. He was left a little bit flat-footed and was chasing him a bit, but Lady was very good. So he's a horse that's improved and keeps improving, but credit goes to Clay as well. He's changed the way he's trained him, and he's won 2 on the bounce. So I feel like credit goes to Clay as well. But look, he's going great, and feels like he could keep stepping up.
Okay, great stuff. Well done.
Thank you.
There we go. Good ride from Matty Cartwright. I think there might be an award coming his way. We'll get to that shortly. But Salt's a good little win. They've really got Mafee going quite well this time in.
Yeah, and he came up in grade from a maiden as well, which I was a little bit suspect of the form. So he went around $10 today. But look, all you can do is win. He's clearly come back a better horse, and he's taken a lot of confidence out of that first up win.
In terms of highlights, I think it's probably pretty hard to go past the win of King Tut in race number 1. Kieran Maher's 300th winner for the season across the country. So, what are we thinking of this galloper?
Well, he got the blinkers on, the jump outs were quiet, and he spaced a horse by the name of Ortigian Girl, who was good in a fast race prior to that at Seymour and had some good form around it. Look, he had a lovely run in transit. He sat back off a good tempo, was able to let rip to the middle of the track. It was hands and heels. He looked an absolute menace in the mounting yard in terms of how ripped he was, didn't he? He looked like absolutely a beast. So He's a big, strong boy that's going to continue to get better, maybe as he gets to 1,400 metres.
Yep, absolutely. Is it a similar story for this horse who took out race number 2? Do we think, Salts? This was a really impressive win to the eye.
Yeah, and it was a really good post-race interview, Gemma, with Mick Kent talking about doing the testing on this horse on the treadmill, saying, well, it's a stayer, so let's just give it no trial or jump out, straight to 1,400 metres, keep some freshness in its legs. And Moonlight Circus ate up the ground late as well. Also followed Lady Elsa there for Charlotte Littlefield. Whenever you see a horse gap third by that far, there's generally a win around the corner.
Time for Ride of the Day.
Stowe. For all your warehouse racking needs, call Marty and the team at Stowe.
Ride of the Day goes to Matty Cartwright in the last aboard Mafee. We touched on that race previously before, Tim and I, and how progressive this guy is, winning a couple of races so far. Back this preparation off a bit of a freshen up over, now over 1,100 metres, 2 back and 1,200 metres today. But Luke Cartwright from barrier 5 on the back of the lead, looks to almost get headed here by Chalut, but the horse is strong to the line, but he gave it a beautiful run in transit from barrier 5, sat on the back of the lead, tracked that fast tempo and broke the track record. 109.74 they've run. The previous track record was 110.05. So not only broke
Smashed it,
obliterated it as well. And fast times were the norm across the day, but that was the only track record we've seen fall.
Perfect day for racing all round,
wasn't it?
Really, wasn't it? Gemma Riley's done a sterling job out there on course, bringing us all of the information